Okay guys, there she is, looking good, all clean. I did use it last night to make some dough, which I made, put it in the fridge for 18 hours and then realised that I'd forgot to add the salt because I was too engrossed with this thing. So here I am going to make another dough for tonight's pizzas. It's got 8 hours to ferment. So it's 10 AM, I'll be cooking it at 6 or thereabouts, maybe 7 o'clock this evening. So there's the flour, it's Caputo Nuvola, we're doing 65% hydration. I've got some iced water to put in the bowl to keep the temperature down. So yeah, let's get going. Before we kick off, there's the settings. I've gone for 285 grams for times 6. I expect a little bit of wastage here and there, so it'll still be a 280 gram ball till I work out what I waste with this machine and what have you. But 65% hydration, 3% salt, 8 hours at 20.5, so it's usually around 20 to 21, so I've gone in the middle. Instant dry yeast again, 1018 grams of flour, 662 grams of water, 31 grams of salt, which I've definitely poured out this time, and 1.65 grams of instant dry yeast. So we're going to start by putting the flour in the machine and throwing the yeast in and giving that a bit of a jiggle around. Okay, just make sure there's no bits at the bottom. Looks like old dough. Nope. Right, okay, in with the flour. My experience with this thing yesterday was amazing. I'd never had dough that was like, it sounds horrible, but the consistency. So what I did yesterday was Manitoba, and I auto-lysed it yesterday for 6 hours, and it was 70% hydration. So there goes the yeast, and by the time I'd mixed it and got it all ready, it was unbelievable. It felt the consistency of chewing gum that had been obviously chewed on, but I'd never seen flour so smooth. It was really, really strange. Let's get this going, get the yeast mixed in. Okay, so we'll leave it running around on a slowish speed, and I will attempt to tip in some water. This has been in the fridge all night, and I've just thrown a few ice cubes in. And you might be thinking, why ice cubes? And I know a lot of you guys on the channel have got spiral mixers, but the temperature of the dough in these things gets really quite warm. So you have to start off with really cold water. And I've had a few tips off people, that's all the water gone in. And people are saying, like, you know, they even put ice in, which I've only done there, just a small cube. And we need to keep the temperature down below 24 degrees apparently. I'm no expert at this is all new to me, but what I did find when I threw a bag of, I had some old pizzeria kicking around, and I just threw that in with some water on the day I got the mixer just to try it. No yeast or anything like that. I wasn't going to make dough. I just wanted to try it with something, and I couldn't believe how warm the dough got. It really did get quite warm. There goes a bit of an ice cube, I think. So that's what we'll do now. We'll leave that going, maybe give it a bit more. So it's already 14 degrees, 13 degrees according to that. Didn't realise I'd got a big chunk of ice in it, never mind. So this should be interesting. Starting to pull away from the sides a bit now. Right, put the salt in this time. I nearly forgot again then. Okay, that's all the salt gone. Starting to do that thing that they call pumpkin, which is where it starts to look like you're looking down on a pumpkin. No, still milling around 14, 15 degrees. Okay, it's been resting for about 10 minutes. Let's get it going again. Whoa, look at the difference now. "17 degrees. Seems that I get a bit of a clunk when the dough's off centre and it pushes the bowl back. I don't know whether that's normal. I think it's rubbing against some catch at the back. Not a catch, like a neon block. So I've worked out what the clunking was that I hadn't sealed the bowl into the slot properly. It's now stable, so that's just me learning curve, I guess. So what you do on this particular mixer, you drop the bowl in and then you can like turn a bottom plate to lock it in, and obviously I didn't lock it in. Oh well, sounds better now. So we're running at 18 degrees at the moment. Don't want it to get too warm. It's creeping up. 19.7. So I might just let it rest for a little bit. But it's looking really good. Okay, that's had another 5 minutes. Let's give it some more. Oh, it looks really nice, that, very smooth. $20 degrees now, 19. Still 20 degrees. So I'll do a quick window pane on it now. Yeah, still needs a bit more on it, that. It's getting there though. So I'll leave it running for a few more minutes and then come back. So it's been about 2 or 3 minutes past. I've slowed it right down, that's as slow as it'll go. And we're at 21.9, so I think we're going to have to bail out shortly. But it looks good, the bowl's clean. Breaker bar's doing its job. $22. I believe 24 is like the top end really, but I'm not too sure. Somebody did say 26, I think, but that sounds a little high. Looks very smooth now. Right, I think we'll stop it there and have another feel of it. Well, it's not sticky, it's lovely. Try and get a light on, sorry. Yeah. It's not bad. I'll leave it a bit longer. 22. Looks a bit like silk. Just catch it from this end. Look how that breaker bar cuts through. Temp check, still 22.8. That's looking very, very smooth, that now. Wow. It's got bags of strength in it, that. Give it a bit more. We've only got a few more minutes to go now on this, I think. Right, I think we'll call it a do at that. We've hit 23 degrees on the dough. Well, 22.7. Have a quick look at it. Yeah, it will rip. If you're ripping it, I had to pull it hard enough, but a couple more, maybe a little bit longer. Can hear it trapping air bubbles in. Wow. Mesmerizing. Yeah, I'd say that was pretty much done, looking at the way that breaker bar's pulling that apart. Yeah, I'll give it a couple of folds now on a granite and take it from there. Okay, just so you guys can see how this works, I've got one of these on both sides. I just unturn them a little bit. That frees up the head. Get the size on that. It's as thick as my finger. And then what I can do then is, if you can see this on here, I have this, and this is what I didn't lock before, like an idiot. But you turn it, and then you can then remove the ball. Okay, let's get this dough out of here. Whoa, just pulled out in one go. Yeah. That's pretty good. So I'll just give it a few folds. Feels quite dense. Doesn't feel like it needs much doing to it, to be honest. It's ever so slightly tacky, but it's not bad. It's super smooth though. Yeah, I think that's super. Not had to do much to that. So I'll put this in a bowl and we'll leave it at room temperature and see what it comes out later on. And there we have it. The internals. Okay, cling wrapped up, ready for later on. So what I'll show you now is some of the 70% hydration Manitoba flour that I did last night and failed to put the salt in. But take a look at what this looks like from the machine. Whoa, look at that. It's really smooth. Really smooth. Never seen it like that before. Never had it like that in the past. Okay, so we're 4 hours through the 8-hour fermentation. It's time to ball this stuff up. Looks quite nice. Not got a lot of gluten strands in it yet, but we can see that it is definitely working. It's not too sticky. Okay, the gas in there. Quite nice. Right, I'll do that to the rest of them. There they are, all balled up and ready to go. The wife only has a 220 gram one. So that one is going to be our dough balls, and that one is 330 grams. So probably won't eat all of that. But yeah, the rest of them are 280s. Pretty good. Okay, so now it's time to cook this Nuvola. It's only had 8 hours of fermentation, but it was done in the mixer, and so far I've been really impressed with how the dough's been feeling and how it handles. A little tip, I'm currently got my box on 2 little logs because this surface is something like 7 degrees. So after that box has been sat on there for probably about 30 minutes, it's going to cool your dough right down. So I've actually switched things around. So I've got my dough balls next to the oven because this is actually quite warm. So I'm trying to just keep the dough slightly warm. I've noticed recently that I've had quite a few black spots turning up, and that's usually a sign of cold dough. Okay, so we've had some dough balls from this one already, some mini dough balls, but now we're going to make the first pizza. But the dough's been really, really nice so far. There isn't a massive taste with it. I mean, it does taste nice. I ate a dough ball on its own without any garlic, and you can taste the flour and stuff. It's not bad, but it's obviously not quite as tasty as what you get on a longer fermentation. But oops. But it is, I mean, you can see by looking at that, it looks really, really nice. It's got plenty of gas in it, I can feel the bubbles. I had some good feedback from the last video, which has been useful. So music's been a bit loud in places. I've been a bit sloppy with tomato sauce, not showing the full cooking of the pizza, so people don't know how long it's take to cook. So I'm going to try and rectify some of those points in this video. Okay. Basically what I think I do when I know people are going to watch it, I feel like I rush a bit sometimes, so I just try and take a bit more care over it. That looks like it's retracted a bit, that. So I'm just going to make a basic chicken, onion. Let's have some mushrooms on. Barbecue chicken. Okay, I'll stretch that out a bit now because it looks a bit small. Yeah, it's not as elastic as I would like. It's getting there now. Yeah, it's better. More chicken on. A few onions. A few more mushies. Okay. finished its final stretch. Bingo. In she goes. Starting to puff up. It's about 7 degrees out tonight, so I warmed the oven up really slowly, put it on its lowest setting and left it for 5 minutes, and then gradually started to wind it up so I don't crack those tiles. Oh, that's looking really good. Yeah. Yep, I think that's a dunner. Wow, it turned out really well for 8 hours. Yeah, it's retracted a bit. It's definitely shrunk. But yeah, that looks really good. I'll just go and get a knife to cut it. Okay, so let's have a quick look inside this crust. Looks pretty good for 8 hours. Oh, look at that. That's not bad at all. It's a lovely structure to it. Quite springy as well. Looks really good. Can't complain. I'm really happy with that after 8 hours. Let's give it a quick test to see how light it is. I'm not expecting a massive amount of taste, but it's certainly very fluffy. Slight crisp to it. Yeah, that's really nice. Really, really nice. Look at that. So there we go. That's a test of the new mixer. Can't argue with that for dough. After 8 hours, quite impressive. Yeah, very nice. Got something good for next week as well, which is quite interesting. A little bit of tech. So cheers, thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.